Hello, World Tank Blitzers. That's Littlefinger. Happy Friday, February 17th. And yes, time for another store review. So before we jump in, I typically talk quickly about the battle pass. We're halfway through the month, so not a lot of time to make sure you complete your missions and fill up the gold vault, which you fill up here at level 59. So you really want to make sure you can get here with a few days to spare to fill it up, because 2,000 of your 3,000 gold is tied up right there. But yes, guys, several of you made comments that I read all the comments here about the ability to activate. I just assumed that because this was grayed out and it looked like you had to buy the license to go back and do them, you can. So you see like week 1 here, I still haven't finished this. I can come in and click activate, and then I can finish this mission out, and then I can go back to week 3, hit activate, and then work on those missions. So thank you guys for leaving comments, letting me know that you can still go back and finish those. However, if you do buy the license, you get 2 weeks open at a time, or 3 weeks, I guess. So you can finish those in conjunction with each other if they line up. So this week we got a big update. We got the Chinese light tanks, and honestly, guys, I've played a total of 5 battles since the update came out. Yeah, not a lot really that I can talk about just yet on my feelings on these tanks. So we'll give me some time to play some battles. Just have not been in the mood for Blitz lately. We are now in the store. We'll run through this as quick as possible. The C45, gambling on containers here, $100, stay away. Lockbox and keys, not a big fan of these ones either. If you look at these boxes, there's only a 3% drop chance, so I am not in favor of those. Getting to the tier 10 French heavy, the AMX M4 54. You look at this, and $40 here for this tank. If you're buying your gold there at 750 gold per dollar, that's the equivalent of 30,000 gold. So this tank is still super expensive. You gotta wait for this thing to come down. Looking at golden resupply here, this is 500 gold per dollar, which isn't horrible, but it's nowhere near a great deal. And I can see maybe some people thinking, I'm gonna get 6 million silver out of this, that it's gonna help me buy some tanks. It's not a horrible deal, but it's definitely not a great deal. So I would pass on that. And great choice, we've talked about this, the mystery certificate guarantees you a tank, but so many of those tanks are tier 5 and tier 6. So I really don't think that that is a great offer either. The gsor draw, okay? So this is one of those where I think it started out with 10 gold or something like that. And I think if you end up playing each and every one of these, this number keeps increasing up until the next to last. And if you were to, hit the play button, this keeps going up. I think you're going to spend over 17,000 gold for a tier 8 tank. And it's one of these things where as these drop off after you've got them selected, the probability of getting the tank increases. So I did a couple of them just to see what happened here. But I'm stopping there. I'm not spending any more gold on this until I know I can guarantee myself the gsor for much less than 17,000 gold. You saw last week that I opened the Lucky 5. The Lucky containers guarantee yourself a tank, and they're really good for players like myself who have just about all of the tier 5, tier 6, tier 7 tanks, because you can work your way up and continue to get higher tier tanks for a much lower price. What do you think? $23 for a tier 8 tank if you're buying your gold at 750 gold per dollar. That's 17,250 for a tier 8 tank. So, unless you buy this in a bundle, I really don't see a good deal here. Unless, of course, you can do it like I did. $8, I ended up with a tier 10 tank. So that worked out well for me, but it might not if you don't have many of those tier 5 or tier 6 tanks. All right, so we're going to keep on scrolling here. We'll talk about the tanks when we get to the tank section. And here we go. We've got a lot to choose from. So, Batchat and the Type 57 here in a bundle. And $30, 750, that's 22,500. So it's going to be more economical for you to go and buy your gold at 750 gold per dollar with the 2x bonuses in the gold section, and then use this one to buy these two tanks. Now, what you're getting here, I love the Batchat. It's a medium, plays a little bit more like a light tank. It's got some great mobility to it. It has a 2-shell auto loader, and if you look at this, 320 damage. So 2 seconds, you can drop 640 damage. You can use your speed to relocate, to hide while you're reloading on that 18.5 seconds. And then you pop out, and so it's a small burst damage on a tank that is very low profile and has that mobility, 60 kilometers per hour. So this is an enjoyable tank to play. Now, the Type 57 does not suit my playstyle whatsoever. Let's see here, 430 average damage, but look at this, 0.347 dispersion. 9 degrees of gun depression is good, but only 39 kilometers per hour top speed. So this gun, for whatever reason, really does troll me a lot, and I don't like the slower heavy tanks. So this one I have not played that much. I don't like it as much. So if I was going to go and get one or the other, certainly the Batchat by itself. But you can see it's a much more enticing deal here to only spend an extra 5,000 gold and get the camos. Yeah, and 3 mystery boxes, which have the certificate for a mystery certificate with a 5% drop chance. So that is my summary on those. A couple more days on the WZ111. You know, basically, this is a lot like a lot of those tier 8 heavy tanks. So it's hard to make the recommendation to buy this one. Tier 5 Matilda. Unless there's something else that goes in this, I would stay away. It's tier 5, rather slow. You look at the tank here, and all of this turret here is completely pennable, and it's just not an enjoyable tank to play. So I would recommend staying away from that. Tier 2, 38H. You know, I think the only benefit here is if you can sell it. So 1,000 gold there, 750. So you're going to get 1,750 gold for $3. That works out to be 583. You're going to give yourself 7 days premium time and that garage slot. So again, not a super great deal, but for a very small investment, you can get nearly 600 gold per dollar out of it. You can play the tank for a little bit and then sell it. Battle hardened. So we've got one of my favorite tier 6, the Cromwell B, and you've got the tier 7 FV 201. Both of these tanks are fast firing. So you're gonna have to be on target. This one is a heavy tank here, so it's not that bad. Damage per minute, almost 3,000 for a tier 7 tank. But look at this, you're only doing 160 average damage, 8 degrees of gun depression, got that nice British gun depression, 31 kilometers per hour is your top speed. So a little bit on the slow side. And of course, this is tier 7. You're gonna be facing a lot of tier 8s. Cromwell B has the damage per minute of 1,800, so significantly lower, same damage gun, 13 degrees of gun depression. That's what makes this tank so enjoyable to play with that 64 kilometers per hour. This, to me, the Cromwell B here is almost a must-own tank because it is so enjoyable. 3,500, I can see that for this tank. 3,500 for the FE201, it's probably a little bit steep. Doesn't look like you're getting that much of a discount in other than the fact that you're going to get those camos out of it. So, you know, it's hard to really recommend the tier 6 and tier 7s at this point in the game, knowing a lot of you want to get to tier 10 and play those higher platoon, battle games. So we've got another combination here. Both of these being French. The Lorraine 40T is the medium tank with the auto loader. You know, the armor on this can be quite troll here. You've got 4 shells in the magazine, reloading at 2.5 seconds. So, you know, one of those things, it's not horrible, but when we add this up and you're at 7.5 seconds to unload a full clip, sometimes it can be difficult to do that. So you're oftentimes put in that difficult situation. Do I force a reload only having shot 2 or 3 shells and wait the 20 seconds out? 225 average damage, 8 degrees of gun depression, but it has a nice top speed for a big heavy tank of 60 kilometers per hour. Then the AMX. So, you know, it's a tier 8 heavy with got some good armor here. It can be bully of a tank when it is right in front of someone. 2,300 damage per minute, 310 average damage, 10 degrees of gun depression, 40 kilometers per hour. So this thing works well, works hills. Make sure you're keeping your armor facing your opponent, and you know, the tank does well. So 2 tanks at tier 8 for 11,000 is a good price. Tanks are middle of the road, decent tanks. You know, they're not top tier, but they are fun to play. So there's not really a lot else going on in the store. These are your 2X deals, should all be back. And remember, if you don't have them, you can log in online. Customization containers are back, and I believe that you can somewhere here get them for the splinters. There we go. So if you've got things that you want to sell for splinters, you can go ahead and purchase these, and they do have, you know, some of the cooler attachments there. So I've obviously, having been on the battle pass for the whole last year, you build up so many camos. You can sell those camos for splinters, and then get some pretty neat attachments. So, got to get back into Blitz. Got to play some of these light tanks and then give you my thoughts on those. And of course, if you've hung with me for now and you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. And of course, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.